True,
But what are we
yes.
talking about today on Wild?
Today we're talking about loving your local wildlife.
Oh, how do we do that?
We don't grab them and squeeze
Kiss them?
Kissing them? No, generally not, no.
I know you've got some topics here. She's printed me out a
I
form,
have.
which I need binoculars to read, but I'll try and read it for you. Don't worry.
Saving
It's
trees.
protect or create a habitat.
Protect or create habitat, yes. Now this is a really important one because everyone can do it. You can plant local native plants in your garden. Now if it's things like grevilleas and bankstias, you can chuck them in your garden.
Why have you brought a letterbox
You
with you
can-
today? Do you want me to help you
Yes,
with that?
thank you. This is quite heavy.
Oh,
You can
that's beautiful.
also
Look at that.
put up nesting boxes. Now, this looks like a letterbox. It's probably
Yeah.
covered in a few spiders. You can see here it's got like a tree branch, like
Yeah.
a hollow. And in the top here, we've got a lid that sort of opens up. And inside, there's like a little ladder. So parrots and other birds can sort of land here, come in here and actually nest in here. And obviously, with a lot of species, there's not enough habitat left. This recreates an old hollow
So you
log.
just make it yourself, you can't buy them?
You can make it yourself. If you're like me and you're not that technically minded or you're not the dude off, you know, the
Home improvement
home
show.
improvement show, you can get these made up. And so you can just Google it. There's people in every state of
put that
Australia
down
that
for
can
it.
do it for you. You can get bat boxes, parrot boxes, a whole range of things. And obviously with a lot of land clearing happening and a lot of old growth trees not around anymore, these guys are excellent because they recreate that habitat.
And how do you keep wildlife wild?
Well, we don't feed them. Now, I know we all want to feed
Serious?
them. Yep. You know when you go down to the lake and you see people feeding ducks and
Ducks and
swans
stuff,
and things,
yeah.
it's the worst thing you can do because it sort of desensitises them to humans and they kind of just go,
Easy.
oh, humans, they're okay. You know, and some are and some aren't. Now, you're feeding them the wrong food, it can make them sick. Bread also can really affect the water quality that they're living in. So swans and ducks particularly are really susceptible.
So basically, what do? Just say hello to them, acknowledge them, but don't go and feed them.
Yeah, feeding them is one of the worst things you can do. You know, if you want to take your kids out to have that wildlife experience, get an ID book, like the bird book, and go, okay, kids, what bird's that? Give them some binoculars, teach them to sort of stand back and leave wildlife alone, but enjoy it at the same time.
And what about our roads? Because you're saying share the roads with them. How does that work?
Yeah, well, roads are a massive problem in Australia. Obviously, big, long roads out in the bush, and it's easy to sort of hit a lot of animals, particularly kangaroos that tend to jump out at you the last moment. Best thing to do is slow down in areas that are really, really thick with bush or when you're going past wetlands, slow down, scan the sides of the road. Don't ever throw scraps out of your car. Now, you might think throwing an
See,
apple
again,
core
you
is
think just
okay,
throw it out.
a banana, most
Breaks
people do
down.
it. But animals will actually cross a busy road
They'll
to
die.
come and get that food and they often get hit. So, yeah. And if you do see one that's been hit, do stop if you can, if it's safe, and check because if a kangaroo's been killed, a joey kangaroo can live in the pouch for several days after its mum's been killed. You can call, there's lots of people you can call to actually come out and help you.
And do you know something else while you're talking about I've just been camping for a few days.
Oh, beautiful.
And we went down to Walpole, southwest here in WA. And do you know they put traps in the forest to catch the wolves?
Yep.
And someone said to me that when you take your own pet with you, your dog, you need to keep them on a leash because if the dog goes out, they'll get poisoned if they eat the food.
Yes, that's the
that true?
1080 baiting program that Department of Environment and Conservation do, and it basically will knock off any introduced species. Native species can handle a little bit of that poison in their gut, but the introduced species like foxes and cats can't.
Yep.
So they do baiting in a lot of the forest areas.
And we've only got a couple of more minutes to go, so let's go to the next one.
Sure.
Responsible ownership.
Okay, so that's a really easy one. We can all do it. If you've got a cat, double bell them because cats are sneaky. I love my cat, but they are sneaky. They can actually hold their head on one side and snuffle that bell out so you can't hear it. So if this one's on this side, jingles and the wildlife can hear them.
Yep.
Keep them in at night, particularly cats, and make sure you know where your dogs and cats are at all times. Don't put a bird bath next to where your dog sleeps during the day, basically.
Fair enough. And finally, we've got there the last one. It says, let me try and read, helping wildlife at risk. And I know they're telling us to wind up, but we're pre-recording, so it doesn't matter.
There's a couple of things you can do, guys. Check out the wildlife in your local area, find out what they are, and then there's plenty of organisations to help, like the Western Swamp Tortoise group here in Perth. They're a critically endangered reptile. You can become a member and help them out. Palm oil is a big one. Don't buy things with palm oil.
Why is that? Is that because it's bad for the environment or bad because they kill animals to make it?
Basically, there's a lot of old growth forest being cleared for palm oil production around the world these days, and that is of course, clearing habitat and homes for wildlife such as orangutans, critically endangered. So check out the ingredients on your packaging when you go shopping.
No
Don't buy
palm
anything
oil.
with palm oil.
I know, I've heard, it's Tim Tams. I heard those biscuits, they've got it. Cheezels.
Probably
Everything
yummy
that's
things.
nice has palm oil.
Not
So
good.
we'll be on a diet next time, you see us.
I know.
Anything else?
I think we've covered quite a bit today.
For more information, check out our website, thecouch.com.au.